Hi everyone. So Phil and I are very excited to be announcing the second War on Health conference, hot on the heels of the first conference, which was extremely enjoyable. I mean, I'm still glowing from that weekend, Phil. So what was it? 2 weeks ago now, was it?
It was, yeah. It was
And
great. Went even better than we could possibly have imagined, didn't it?
it did. It was amazing, and it was late January, and 75 people made the journey from wherever they are to the Peak District. But it was one of the warmest weekends in living memory, I think. It had so many hugs and so many interesting chats with interesting people. Um, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So if you were at the War on Health number one, the inaugural one, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. If you don't, you missed out. But don't worry, because this is your chance to get on number two, which is at the end of March. So it's in, at the time of recording, so what, this is the 29th of January. It's in 60 days' time. So you've got plenty of time to sort whatever you need to sort and get booked. So it's running on Easter Saturday and Easter Sunday. That is the 30th and 31st of March, 2024. Again, held at Cliff College, who are amazing, in the middle of the Peak District in the village of Carver. And we've also got something potentially special lined up as well for the Friday for anyone who can make it down early and do something interesting on Friday afternoon. But we'll talk about that later. And so it's a 2-day conference this time, Phil. And we've got more speakers, more topics, more breaks, more time to chat, and more food. What's not to like?
No, marvelous. I just it's very difficult to know who to put on and all these different ideas we've got, but there's there's some wonderful people who are coming down. Some of the same ones as last time and some new ones. Um, shall we go through those and tell people what's going on?
Yeah, yeah. So the from last time, obviously Phil and I will both be talking. I'm going to be talking about the allopathic conspiracy. What's your topic, Phil?
Well, I got a bit woo last time, but I'm not going to be so woo this time. I'll be a bit more useful about, the battles with the medical system and what's wrong with it. And I've called it Arthritis, the best thing that ever happened to me, which is the title of my book, where I go into that kind of thing. But I'll kind of go through what's in the book and really the battles that somebody has who hasn't educated themselves in proper healing when they get sick, the medical system and then out of it and the journey on my own, that kind of thing, and how people can avoid that and get confidence. Really, that's what I'll be talking about.
Yeah, because the whole point of the conference is really to give us the bad news and the good news. And the bad news being that the so-called healthcare system that we have today is not in the interest of health. It's not run in the interest of health, and it's absolutely not the best way to pursue health, really. But the flip side of that is it's down to us. But that's also the good news, because we'll also then give a lot of useful information, hints, tips, and tricks that you can go straight away after the weekend and start applying straight away in your life. And I think Sarah's talk as well. So Sarah Pugh was amazing last time, talking about deuterium. This time she's going to be talking about how hospitals are the almost the worst place to try and heal from anything. And of course, Ahmed Malik is coming back as well. He was wonderful. Great to meet him, and we've persuaded him. So it's a bit more of a gloves off event now this time as well. So Ahmed's going to be talking about the I don't know what adjective to use, so I won't use one, but the ways in which the medical system turned on him and effectively shoved him out into the cold, took away his income and his livelihood for the crime of questioning the safety of certain recent medical interventions. So,
Yeah, being a good doctor and obeying the Hippocratic Oath, which the rest of them don't seem to be doing at the moment. And just another little thing on Sarah, the hospitals thing is really her subject of light and EMFs and all that kind of thing.
and
She's so
all the
up on all that
circadian and
quantum stuff.
hormonal stuff, it's so
Yeah,
subtle, and hospitals just wreck you. I mean, how many people
yeah,
go to hospital and come out dead?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then we've got my friend Andrew Scarborough, He's been on my podcast. His story is pretty well known now, but he should have been dead really 10 years ago, according to the medical system, because he had a glioblastoma, which is one of the worst diagnoses you can get, and with complications all around it and bleeds and all sorts of brain tumor, nastiest kind of brain tumor. And here he still is, you know, incredibly fit, healthy, looking way too young for his age. And you know, his story is really, really heartbreaking, but really inspiring at the same time. And then we have our friend Zofia Clements again. She's joining on Zoom from Hungary, and really the work they're doing at Paleomedicina, the results in reversing cancer, autoimmunity, all sorts. She's going to be talking on glioblastomas as well, but she's also going to be talking on the attacks that she's had from the mainstream medical system, child protection services, that kind of thing, you know, just basically for doing really, really good work. But, you know, unfortunately, a load of people get to her as a last resort. Instead of knowing what's the best way to heal, she will get patients that are way too far gone and nobody can help them. And then, of course, she gets blamed for that. And so, you know, if she was the first choice, when people go to her as a first choice, the results are incredible, or even second or third choice. But really, you know, absolutely on death's door, there's a point where nobody can do anything. And so, of course, the medical system don't get blamed for putting them in that position. Sophia will get blamed. So she goes on, you know, with these attacks, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
So who else have we got then?
Struggling to get published as well, you know, with these incredible
Yeah.
results that they get, which you will hear her talk about and share. And it will be amazing because no one's saying this. You know, in fact, it's against the law in this country to claim any kind of cure for cancer that doesn't involve chemo and radiotherapy, right? Which probably kill as many people as cancer do anyway. And then Stephen Thomas. Stephen's got all kinds of fingers and all kinds of pies, but he really is a blood expert. So he's going to be talking about the things that your doctor doesn't know about blood results and how those things could harm you, right? Doctors, bless their souls, I know they try hard, and but they know very little about preventative health. And in so many instances, their education is just so far behind the curve compared to what the real practitioners know. Stephen's going to blow the lid off all of that. And of course, Richard as well. So, I mean, you've interviewed Richard, haven't you, Phil, recently? Another inspiring story.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, from 100 pounds overweight, diabetic, covered in acne, couldn't walk up the stairs properly, all the way through to being an absolutely ripped champion bodybuilder and now training for triathlons and stuff. His personal story is amazing. He loves delving into the science and is unbelievably knowledgeable, but it would be nice to hear a bit about his personal story too. But you know, he blows me away when we're on those Team GB carnivore chats on Tuesdays. That, you know, his level of knowledge is incredible. And 11 years ago, he was some fat guy who didn't know anything about this. It's quite incredible what you can learn on your own when you get out of the mainstream knowledge.
Yeah, so that's Richard Smith. If you've never heard his story, come and hear it. And we're also going to have time. So the great thing is that now we're going to have proper slots as well. We're going to have a break between each session. So everyone's got, you know, tea and coffee, obviously laid on all day. We're going to have more time to chat, more time for questions, more time to, you know, mingle, meet the speakers and everything else as well. And we're also going to have a Q&A panel at the end of the weekend also. So that's it. So go along to waronhealth.uk, just type that into your browser and book your tickets and get in there. Again, places are strictly limited. And this time because we are block booking all of the accommodation there, that you can pay for your ticket and your B&B accommodation. All your food is included, tea and coffee, everything else is included for the whole weekend. And if you can make it on Friday, and if you're feeling bold and brave, there's quite a stimulating activity planned for Friday, but you'll find out when you book. Okay, so anything else to add, Phil?
Just that you can book with or without the B&B. You know, you don't have to book B&B. There's a price for it without. And so check that out on the page.
Yeah. If you're striking distance from the Peak District, then you may choose to drive in each day. Of course, it is Easter weekend, so other B&Bs and hotels in the area are going to be filling up quick. So my advice is get in quick, and if you want to stay over, take advantage of the B&B offer on site because it's way cheaper than any of the other hotels in the area. So other than that, guys, I look forward to seeing you there.